Hello everybody, welcome back to another weather video. Today we'll be taking a look at the nor'easter that could be a pretty impactful storm over the weekend, especially the closer up you get towards the northeast such as Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, and even into some parts of Long Island, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. But before we get into that, we can always check around the country what watches, advisories, and warnings we have up. Currently, we have winter weather advisories down by the panhandle of Texas and into almost, I would say, western part of Texas. This is from the vortex that is going to be coming from the west that is going to play a role in our nor'easter that is going to be coming up the coast over the weekend. We also have winter weather advisories for Minnesota, North Dakota, that is also from the second vortex that is going to drop down and that is going to merge with our system down here and eventually go up the coast like I just said. And on the west coast, we actually have air quality alerts, which is the first time I actually seen that over there in a while since it's been so much rain over there. I'm not sure if this is from the fires or anything, but if it is, it's probably from the smoke. Yeah, that's pretty much it on the west coast. But if we go to a close up on the Massachusetts area, you could see Rhode Island and southeastern Mass is all in winter weather, winter storm watches right now. The dark blue is winter storm watches. This is where I think the bullseye would be. This Massachusetts is in the perfect position where even if it does go a little bit out to sea, you'll still get the heaviest out here. And if it goes right over here, you will see insane snow totals from this storm. I can guarantee that. And if you just want to do a sneak peek on what the National Weather Service is thinking, this is what they have. You have in Boston, you have a foot. Just south of there, you have 17 inches in Plymouth. And this is the high end. This is the 1 in 10 chance. So if you want to gamble on it, I'm not clicking that. That's insane totals right there. But this is the low end totals. And even with the low end totals, you could still get 7 inches in Plymouth. Now, I'm not sure how long that's going to stay like that for because just north in Boston, you have not even 3 inches, and just south of Plymouth, you have not even 2.5 inches. But it looks like if you want to continue drawing this line, it looks like the snow, even if it does take a track like a NAM, it goes completely out to sea. You would still see 7 inches in Plymouth according to the National Weather Service. Now, today I'm going to show you the GFS and European. Both are very different in storm tracks, and I'll show you why. The GFS, this is a fresh 18Z. I really don't like looking at the 18Z models. I'll show you why. Just for example, on the NAM, just look at the 12Z, for example. Look what it did. It drives a monster storm just south of Nantucket, 970. You have your snow all the way back into western Albany, all the way down into Delaware. And if you go onto the 18Z, look at the difference. Look, this is where the low is on the 18Z. And if you go to one run back, you have a double barrel roll, but I don't think that's really going to happen. But you have a low in here. That's at least a 300-mile shift in one run, believe it or not. I really don't like the 18Z. It, it did so many weird things in there. I'll show you why. First off, if we go all the way back to 0, you can see it's so much southwest this fort. If you go back one, you can see that it looks normal, right? But if you continue to go along, you can see this is so much further back. It's just, it did a very weird run. Oh, look at this. Look at this. This is the southern fort, the southern stream. That's all the way back out to here, right? You only want half of this. So what the NAM did last run is what you want. See how it's cut off and it's more south? It's all the way back into, on the border of Texas and New Mexico. Like, that's, you do not want that as a, if you want a big nor'easter in the east, you do not want this. Now, the GFS is sort of doing something like that, but if you take it to the GFS, it's sort of like that, but it's not as much. You see on the last run, actually, it started to back off a little bit. That is what you want. You want this to be strong, which I actually like where it has it right now. It's diving straight down, wanting to merge with the southern stream and form, go negative, and then go up the coast. But this thing is really starting to screw up a lot of the models here. You do not, like I said, you do not want it back over here. You want it cut off. I believe if I could pull up the European, it does. Oh, it doesn't have it. So, like I said, I'll go back to NAM with the Vort, and you see to the 12Z, you do not want that. Compared to that, it it barely makes it into central Texas, but on this run, it goes all the way back into New Mexico. And you can see this is a little bit more east. You can see, and it's not as strong, the trough. How do we know this? If you go to the 500 millibar, go back run, you see you want, if it's strong, you'll see it looks like it's bending into a V, right? If you go back to this run, you can see it's almost like a U. If you want a big storm, you want it to bend like a V, not bend like a U here. This is the trough, 500 millibar. It's about to go neutral. On the last run, it's pretty much the same. But if you continue, you can see it eventually starts to go negative, but it starts to go negative way too late. If you go back one run, yeah, it's definitely around the same place, but it looks like to be more positive. You can see this is the run to here. This is what we have. Sort of like this. Hold on. Sort of like that almost. And if you go back one more run, it's sort of like this. You see, this could make all the difference here. It's either you could have a storm that glances the coast here, mostly Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, or you could have a monster storm that could go up and down East Coast, even bringing snow to North Carolina. The GFS has been hinting at it for some runs. I'll show you what it did on the surface, even though I don't like it, especially what it's been doing. You can see it does bring snow all the way down into the coast of South Carolina. I'll get a close up on this. It does bring snow all the way down to the coast of South Carolina, not to North Carolina. It's going to be way too warm, but you do see snow in North Carolina and everywhere else from there. Besides North Carolina, South Carolina, it's going to be all snow according to the GFS, and it just bombs out. You have, if we go to the ocean analysis real quick, look at all this warm water over here. So much warm water. This thing will blow up instantly. It has so much fuel to work with. It's just gonna explode as soon as it gets off the coast, and especially if it gets forming quicker than, let's say, what the GFS does, and it sort of follows the NAM track, not the NAM track, the European track. Somebody's gonna get buried in here. If it follows the European track, people are gonna get buried anywhere from New Jersey to Delmarva, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, into Maine. You should see the totals it's printing out. I'm not going to bring up the totals because that is, we are 3 days out from the storm. I will bring up totals maybe a day and a half out. That's when I'll start doing it. But the GFS, it brings purple. This is extreme snow. And if we want to click onto here, whether the temperatures are going to be, it's going to be 25 when this happens. Look at this intense band. You have insane levels of omega. And if we pull up the FGen real quick, and I'll show you. Look at that. The tighter and more darker the purple is, the more heavier snow. So it would be, the bands would be right here pretty much. If you go back one run, I just show a comparison. It's about the same, maybe a little bit more east. If you go to the NAM 12Z, I'm not even going to bother with the 18Z. But if you go back to the 12Z, look at this. It gets all into the Delmarva, New Jersey, Long Island, Connecticut, Rhode Island. It goes, that would be a monster storm. I keep saying monster storm over and over, but this, if it forms the right way, people will be paralyzed for a couple days if it does form like the European is showing. But the models have been trending east, some have been going west. It's going to be a long couple days, especially as once this fort in the west, I'll pull it up one last time just to show you. Once this vort comes in, this is right now. You see the vort's up here. Once this comes ashore, once this comes into it would be coming onshore tonight. So you get obs tomorrow. You see, there it is. This is where it is right here. This is 7 a.m. tomorrow. So once this comes on, you get it sampled. You get this down here. Look at this. This is what it's been doing. You see, it came onshore about 7 p.m. last night. Came on. This is where we're at right now. You see, it's bound by Texas. That's what's going to be giving us snow. And then here it is. It comes in, drops down, forms into a trough. This is a trough. Eventually goes negative. You see right here, negative, and that's when the storm starts to explode. The quicker this goes negative, this trough, the more snow you'll see. I can guarantee you that. Now, if we go to the European, this is on Weatherbell. If you want to subscribe to the site, it's $20 a month. But if this is just a surface pressure, because I'll pull up the forts in a second, I'm actually not too sure if they have it, but this is European. This is, here, I'll just put the clock up. This is 1 a.m. Saturday, right? You have your storm off North Carolina at 1 a.m. And if you go to GFS, 1 a.m., you see, give or take, it's roughly the same. Roughly. The European is a little bit up ahead and it's a little bit stronger. But if you want to continue, you see, it goes all the way out here, saying, wow, that's even farther east than the GFS. But then all of a sudden you see another low form. Now, what you're saying, what happened? You have three lows, one over here, 981, another one right here that's not showing on the map, but you can see it's there, 984, and you have another low down here, 990. What happened? This is what is called a convection feedback error. And now, let me show you. Go to upper air. Hopefully it's here. There it is. You see all this? All this. This is where your first low is. It bounces back over there. Then it bounces over here. And then you have another low down here. It's doing this because it's sampling the lowest pressure out of all of them. When in reality, it should really be right here. So it should be somewhere in here, going northeast, north-northeast, going in this direction. And it would bury, and I mean bury anyone in here. That's what the European has been doing for the past couple of days now, and the GF's been doing its own thing for a couple of days now. And if we go back to the pressure map, you see that's where it should be in reality. It should be back over there, if not a little bit more west. But inevitably, it does get its act together. 976, it is weaker, but since it did that triple low thing, it obviously is going to be weaker. So if it's really stronger, I would suggest it be back over here, because stronger it is, so it indicates that the trough is going negative quicker, and that means you will have your low pressure start to move west. Now, is there anything else I could pull up? I could bring up total precipitation. I'm not going to pull up the snow maps. But your at least 6 inch line is back over here, according to European. And this is with the convection feedback error. So if you want to look back at the 12Z, 6Z, the 6Zs went nuts, the 0Z, and then this is a 12Z. I think it's just because of that happened, the convection feedback error, the precipitation amounts would be higher, but it could be start of a trend, this thing going east. Or maybe tomorrow, once we get the samplings on, it could go back west, go back east. The Euro could cave, the GFS and rest could cave. Now, we are on if you're on Long Island, like I am myself, you are on a fine dividing line. As of right now, this is where I would think your best chance of 8 plus right there. Central Long Island is right on the line. Western Long Island, you're looking like 4 to 6. Eastern Long Island, 10 plus. Now, if this follows the European, and it doesn't have a convection feedback error next run, you could see this turn into the 6 inch line. back over here. This be the 10. Oops, sorry. This be the 10-inch. Oh my god, I keep messing up. This be the 10-inch line right here, just west of New York City, and then this be, God knows, maybe 18. You're really talking about robust totals here. But if this Eastern Long Island gets 18, you can only imagine what happens in here. And that's what the high-end totals are. If you want to go to the WPC probability of 1 inch, we could always go higher. This is for Friday night. You can see, oh, this is Friday 1 p.m. Now this is Friday night. You see it starts to get going back over here. You have your boundary coming down. This is Saturday morning. You're starting to see chances go up anywhere from Boston, New York City, Washington. This is roughly 7 a.m. You see, you have 50 to 60 anywhere from Boston all the way down to New York City to Richmond. Obviously, as you go south, it'll get higher because the storm's still down there. 1 p.m., you have an 80% chance, and then by Sunday, Boston's in 80 to 90. New York City, I believe it's. Oh, wait, no. New York City is 80 to 90. Boston is 90 to 95, or just east of Boston. Just offshore New Jersey is 90 to 95. Just east of Richmond and in Norfolk, 90 to 95. And if we go up with the totals, 2 inches. It barely changed. Just east of Boston again, you saw still in a 90 to 95. New York City, 80 to 90. Richmond just east, 80 to 90. 4 inches. In Boston, 80 to 90. That is really good for 3 days out. Just letting you know. New York City, 70 to 80. Coastal New Jersey, 80 to 90. And into southeastern Delaware and the rest of the Delmarva, 80 to 90. Sixth, you do still have your 70 to 80 line anywhere from west of Boston all the way into central Long Island, down the coastal plains of New Jersey, Delmarva, all the way back up into Boston. You still have an 80 to 90% chance of seeing 6 inches. That's in Plymouth area. That's probably why the National Weather Service does have 7.2 inches in Plymouth. Just judging off of that. 8, the highest I see is 70 to 80. That's actually pretty. That's pretty high for 3 days out. For my people who are just starting to look into weather, your 40 to 50 line is back towards northwestern New Jersey, northwestern Connecticut, and back right over Concord. And 12, is that real? Is that really? Is that 60 to 70 in Plymouth? That's pretty good. It's a pretty good damn chance of that. All right, 12 inches from Long Island is 40 to 50, anywhere down the coastal plains in New Jersey and Delmarva, all the way back up into Massachusetts. And 18 for Funny and Giggles. You do actually have a chance. I believe that is 20 to 30 on Long Island. Is that 30 to 40 in Plymouth, if not just west? That is a really good chance. Yep, just west of Plymouth. This is probably where your screw zone is going to be, if it does mix at all, because if you go back to the 6-inch mark, yeah, that looks like to be where they think the screw zone is. Oop, this is messing around. But yeah, that's pretty much it from the WPC standpoint. And now we are going to go on to my prediction of what I think could happen. This is just chances. It is way too early to tell. Snow totals, I'm even surprised they actually have 18-inch amounts. That's how big this storm is going to be. But this is what I have. If you're in the red, you really have a good chance of seeing a major storm. This is 3 days out, and you have a 75% chance or higher, depending. Like in Plymouth, you really have a good chance of seeing a major storm Saturday. In the blue, oh, excuse me. First, the red stretches anywhere from eastern parts of Connecticut, all of Rhode Island, central and eastern parts of Massachusetts, southeastern parts of New Hampshire, and pretty much central to eastern parts of Maine. And in a 50-50 shot where the European is right, you could see a major storm. Major storm for me is 6 inches or higher, so 6 to 8 inches or higher. That's what I think. That's what I think a major storm is. That is stretches from the Delmarva all the way up into New Jersey, central to coastal parts of New Jersey. Let's say about a good 10, 20 miles west of New York City. Almost all of Connecticut except extreme northwestern parts of Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Maine, and a 25 to 0% chance in the light blue stretches anywhere from DC, Baltimore, all the way up into Albany. So about central Maryland, eastern PA, northwestern parts of New Jersey, Albany. So that's about, I would say, I don't know, almost into central New York, but not quite. I would say on the border, yeah, I would say eastern parts of New York, central and southern parts of Vermont, and northwestern parts of Maine. Now, I'll just say this. Let's say the track is here for now. You are definitely gonna see this fulfill. Now, if it's over here, expect this line to shift back over here, and this red to shift over here, and that's just a guaranteed lock right there. But if it's somewhat like the NAM, which I don't believe, and it's west of the benchmark, and it somehow comes true, let's say it's over there, then, and it goes like this, you're really only going to see your big totals be over here. And then, if anything, really, back over here, and anything west of here is just going to have a cold, windy day. But like I said, if it comes back over here, this whole area, the whole Northeast is going to get hammered. That's what the European almost has. Almost. Yeah, I'll pull it up one last time for you. That's where it is. If you go back one run, I think I had it. Yeah, it was over there. Look how west it gets. It gets right over the benchmark or just west. But if it sets up right here, which it did do it one time. I am almost positive it did it one time. Maybe the 18Z. I don't know. Maybe it was sometime from yesterday. But if it does set up closer to the coast like that, then yes, you will definitely see the whole Northeast get destroyed with snow. That will be it for today, guys. There's a lot of uncertainty with this storm, so I'll be on tomorrow with the updated models. We'll have fresh observations from the vorts coming down. And yeah, that'll do for today. I hope everybody had a great day, and see you tomorrow.